frustrates you as a writer? Do you find that sometimes you want to keep writing, you've been maybe on a roll, and then suddenly you feel like you've got writer's block, nothing to say? Well, I'm here to help with that. Hi, everybody. I'm Rikki Heller from rikkiheller.com. I'm a writer, editor, and book coach, and I created what I'm calling Prompt a Day. It's 30 days of easy prompts that can help you keep the writing flowing, even if it's not your main project. Get those muscles moving so you don't lose momentum, so you're always writing, and you can use what you write from these prompts to either create a piece of personal narrative, maybe something from your memoir, or a nonfiction article that you could then submit to a magazine or a newspaper, or even a piece of fiction. And the idea is I'm going to give you a prompt and show you how easy it is to find things to write about. You can just pluck them from your everyday life. And I'm going to use stories from my life, which is not the most exciting life on the planet, but I'm going to show you how I can still find something that I can spin into a really viable story or article from what happens to me. And then I'm going to challenge you to write about it and submit it to me. I'll tell you more about that at the end of the video. All right, so today's prompt, the story from my life. The other day, so here I am right now on the internet. My husband and I we each have our own cell phones, but we also have what used to be called a home line, a home phone. And it's through our internet provider. It's VoIP, voice over internet protocol. And so when the internet is down, our home telephone is down as well. The other day I was out shopping, I had a few appointments, whatever, came home, picked up the phone to call my cousin, and there was nothing, silence. So I thought, oh, did I forget to, charge it, whatever. I went to one of the other phones in the house, nothing, absolutely down. And I thought, is our signal lost? I panicked because I went to the television, no television. There was no signal. And it took me a few minutes to realize, okay, it's the middle of the day. It's not the end of the world that I have no internet signal. I didn't know what caused it. So, I mean, who knows? There are lots of reasons why you might lose the internet, but it was just that momentary panic that gave me pause and made me think. And then, of course, I realized my cell phone still had cell signal. And so I looked it up and there was, some kind of issue. I guess there was construction or something. And they promised the internet would be back within a few hours, which of course was way more than they promised. But that was the little kernel that got me thinking about what to write about. And it was this concept of how dependent we all are on being connected to everything all the time. It's just part of life. Where I grew up, there were no cell phones, there were no computers. And so we spent our days, what did we do? I mean, we spent our days seeing our friends, actually seeing people in person. I spent a lot of time reading and writing. When there was television worth watching, we watched television. We talked on the phone to our friends. But it wasn't the same concept that you had to know everything that was going on all the time and be able to reach people all the time. So I want you to play with that concept in today's prompt. What happens when you're disconnected from the usual connections that you have to everyone, everywhere, all at once, not to paraphrase a movie title? So if you're working with nonfiction article, that one to me is the easiest to turn into a piece of writing because it would be a great article. I'd be interested to read this if you wrote an article about what are some of the things we can do, either when we're forced to be offline or when we choose to be offline. How are we going to fill our time otherwise? You could write about that. For a nonfiction personal narrative, I would write about what happened to me and what I did that day and some of the realizations that came from that experience. You could spin that any which way you wanted. I don't want to give you too much. I want you to take this idea and run with it. And for a short story, this one, of course, is open to any possibilities. What happens when there's no power? I remember this literally happened back in August. Oh my gosh, I can't remember. Maybe August of 2012 or somewhere. We had the grid went down on most of the East Coast for hours and hours and hours. And this was shortly after 9/11, and so people initially were freaked out. They didn't know what was going on, but we had no internet. We couldn't find out for a while. And what struck me about that time was how neighbors came together. I was talking to neighbors I had never spoken to before. So you could write a story about the positive outcomes of something like that. But of course, I think more people would think about the negative outcomes, and often the negative outcomes are make for better drama. So take that and spin it into a story. And here's how the challenge will work. If you write something and then submit it to me at ricky@rickyheller.com, I'm looking for 1,000 words or less. At the end of the month, I'm going to choose at random one piece of writing and provide a full developmental edit, which is what I do with my clients who pay me, a full developmental edit with giving you commentary, feedback, suggestions, an entire summary sheet of what I would suggest and what direction I think would work best for this piece of writing, and give it to you for free. Why am I doing this? Maybe I'm a little crazy. That might be one reason, but it has a lot to do with keeping the writing going. I know for me, how it changed my writing life once I finally had the motivation to actually write every day and keep it moving and start submitting things to publications. And that's how you build your writing life. So I want this for you. I want you to have a motivation to write, and also get some encouragement and some feedback. I promise it will not hurt to read the feedback that I give you. So you can send that to me at ricky@rickyheller.com. And at the end of the month, like I said, I'll pick something and I'll send it back to you. If you're looking for a place to actually do your writing, every Wednesday at 9 a.m., I have a free open Zoom room where we write together in silence for an hour. And then at the beginning, we kind of check in quickly. And then at the end, we check out quickly. And surprisingly, it's just being among those writers that can really keep you focused, keep you writing. It's been a great experience for me to get so much work done that way. There's accountability, there's community. So for both those things, if you're interested in learning more about this challenge to submit something, or if you'd like to write with us, I'm going to put all the details below in the caption so that you can join us. I hope you will. I would love to read your writing, and I hope you enjoyed today's prompt. Let me know what you think in the comments, and if you have any further ideas, let me know that too. All right, everybody, have a great week, or have a great day, and I will see you next time.